the second QC online classes. Dear students, in this class I am going to start the new concept, that is electric dipole. Already in the previous classes all of you have studied what is electric field and what are the properties of electric field lines. The region around the electric charge is called electric field. But the next concept of your topic is, that is electric dipole. Here the word itself says electric dipole means, here dipole means, two, electric dipole, a pair of equal and opposite charges separated by small distance is called electric dipole. Suppose if you consider only a single charge, here plus q is the charge particle. Due to this charge, the electric field is produced. The region around this electric charge is called electric field. The region around the electric charge is called electric field. This is called source charge. This is called source charge. Here, a source charge, it produces a field that is called electric field. That is called electric field. To test the presence of this electric field, now I place a small test charge. This is plus q naught. Here, this is called plus q naught. To test the presence of electric field produced by this source charge, that is called test charge. That is called test charge. This is only, here you know the formula, electric field due to the point charge, that is E is equal to 1 divided by 4 5 epsilon naught Q divided by R. E is equal to 1 divided by 4 5 epsilon naught Q divided by R, which is the expression for electric field due to the point charge. E equal to 1 divided by 4 5 epsilon naught Q divided by R. Here the electric field is inversely proportional to its distance. Electric field is inversely proportional to its distance. If the distance is increases, the electric field produced by the source charge is decreases. If the distance is increases, the electric field produced by the source charge is decreases, which is the formula to find the electric field due to the point charge or single charge. But the next concept of your topic is, that is electric dipole. Electric dipole anta yavadu ನಾವು ಕರೀತೀವಿ. The word itself says dipole. Electric dipole means pair of equal and opposite charges separated by small distance. Pair of equal and opposite charges. According to the basic properties of electric charge, like charges are repel each other, unlike charges are attract each other. But the net charge here, now I consider the 2 point charges. Electric dipole means pair of equal and opposite charges. Now I consider this is the negative charge and this is a positive charge. Pair of equal and opposite charges. Pair of equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance. Separated by a small distance. This is called electric dipole. Pair of equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance is called electric dipole. It is a very simple definition. Pair of equal and opposite charges. Equal and opposite charges. They are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. Opposite in direction. Pair of equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance is called electric dipole. These 2 point charges separated by the small distance. Suppose if you say this is any distance, a pair of equal and opposite charges separated by small distance is called electric dipole anta kareetam. Electric dipole. But here the distance between these 2 point charges, this is called dipole length. This is called dipole length anta kareetam. Electric dipole means pair of equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance is called electric dipole. Dipole length, here it is mathematically denoted by the symbol 2a or 2l. The distance between the 2 charges in an electric dipole. The distance between 2 charges in an electric dipole, that is called dipole length. Here this is negative charge and this is positive charge. pair of equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance is called electric dipole. The distance between the 2 point charges in an electric dipole is called dipole length. Is called dipole length. Here 2a. It is mathematically denoted by the symbol 2a. This is the length of the electric dipole. The length of the electric dipole is called dipole length, or it is the distance between 2 charges in an electric dipole is called dipole length. Dipole length, it is mathematically denoted by the symbol 2a. Now I consider here, this is the midpoint of the electric dipole. This is the midpoint of the electric dipole. Midpoint of the electric dipole. Now from this midpoint here, the total length is 2a. From this midpoint here, along the positive x direction and along the negative x direction, this distance is taken as an a, and this is also a. A plus a enagata 2a. 2a is the dipole length. From the midpoint to this positive charge, the length is a, and from this midpoint to the negative charge, that is the length a. Dipole length. What is the exact definition of dipole length? The distance between 2 charges in an electric dipole is called dipole length. It is mathematically denoted by the symbol 2a. And O is the midpoint of an electric dipole. O is the midpoint of an electric dipole. What is electric dipole? Pair of equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance is called electric dipole. Here dipole length means the distance between the 2 charges in an electric dipole is called dipole length. Electric dipole is called dipole length. And the next concept is, that is dipole moment. The next concept is dipole moment. It is mathematically denoted by the symbol small p. Mathematically denoted by the symbol small p. Dipole moment. Dipole moment means dipole moment. Dipole moment means it is the product of strength of the either charge. The product of strength of the either charge. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Pair of equal and opposite charges ಅನ್ನೋ definition ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Dipole moment means it is defined as it is the product of strength of the either charge. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ plus q and minus q. Strength ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. It is the product of strength of the either charge. The magnitude of the strength of the either charge ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Magnitude of the strength of the either charge. It may be positive or negative. The product of magnitude of the either charge and dipole length. The product of magnitude of the either charge and dipole length is called dipole moment. That is vector P is equal to Q into 2A. Vector P is equal to Q into 2A. It is the vector form of the dipole moment. Dipole moment means it is the product of strength of the either charge, or it is the product of magnitude of the either charge and dipole length. The magnitude of the either charge. The product of magnitude of the either charge and dipole length is called dipole moment. Dipole moment, it is mathematically denoted by the symbol vector P. Dipole moment, it is mathematically denoted by the symbol small p with the vector. Vector means it is having both magnitude and direction. Dipole moment, it is defined as it is the product of the magnitude of the either charge and dipole length. The product of magnitude of the either charge and dipole length is called dipole moment. Is called dipole moment. What is the SI unit of dipole moment? The SI unit of charge is coulomb. The SI unit of charge is coulomb and the SI unit of length is meter. Hence, the SI unit of this dipole moment is coulomb meter. SI unit of the dipole moment is coulomb meter. Electric dipole means pair of equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance is called electric dipole. Dipole length means the distance between the 2 charges in an electric dipole is called dipole length. It is mathematically denoted by the symbol 2a. And midpoint of the electric dipole, it is here O is the midpoint of the electric dipole. From the midpoint of the electric dipole along the positive x direction, this distance is A. And from the midpoint of the electric dipole along the negative x direction, this distance is also A. But the total distance in the dipole length, that is 2A. And dipole moment, it is mathematically denoted by the symbol P. Dipole moment, it is defined as the product of magnitude of the either charge. Either the magnitude irbodu athwa ee charge magnitude irbodu. Pair of equal and opposite anta helidrinda ನಾವು ಯಾವ charge ಅನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ. Here it is the product of magnitude of the either charge and dipole length is called dipole moment. The product of magnitude of the either charge and dipole length is called dipole moment. The SI unit of charge is coulomb and length is meter. Therefore, the SI unit of dipole moment is coulomb meter. SI unit of dipole moment is coulomb meter, and it is a vector quantity because it's having both magnitude and direction. It's having both magnitude and direction. And the next concept is, that is dipole field. Dipole field. Electric field ಅಂತ already ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. The reason around the electric charge. The reason around the electric charge, which is experienced with the force of another charge. Right? Which is experienced with the force of another charge. To present the electric field. In this field, this just charge. Here, this just charge is used to present the electric field in this region. Right? This is only due to the point charge. Electric field due to the point charge. But dipole field means the electric field is produced by an electric dipole. The electric field is produced by an electric dipole. This is the negative charge and this is the positive charge. These two charges produces an electric field. These two positive charges produces an electric field. This electric field is called dipole field. This electric field is called dipole field. Dipole field means the electric field is produced by an electric dipole. The electric field produced by an electric dipole is called dipole field. But here, the net electric charge of an electric dipole is 0. Remember this point. Here, the net electric charge. The net electric charge of an electric dipole. The net electric charge of an electric dipole. The net electric charge of an electric dipole is 0 according to the basic properties of electric charge. Additivity of charge. So what is the statement of additivity of charge? The additivity of charge means the net charge of the system is equal to algebraic sum of all the charges present in the system. You know the formula, additivity of charge formula, that is Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 so on up to Qn. Here we consider only 2-point charges. We consider only 2-point charges. Here this is Q1 and Q2. The net charge of an electric dipole, Q is equal to Q1 is minus Q plus Q2 is, that is plus Q. Here minus Q and plus Q both are cancel each other. Therefore, the net charge of an electric dipole is 0. The net charge of an electric dipole is 0. Dipole field means the electric field is created by an electric dipole. The electric field is created by an electric dipole is called dipole field. But the net electric charge of an electric dipole is always 0 according to the properties of additivity of charge. The net charge of an electric dipole is always 0, but the net electric field is does not 0. The net electric field is does not 0 because the electric field is produced due to the separation by the 2-point charges. Here the electric field is produced due to these two charges separated with a small distance. Here the electric field is not 0. The electric field is not 0. Here there is some amount of electric field is there, but the net electric charge due to an electric dipole is 0. This is a very important concept, and remember this point. Remember this point. And what is the significance of this electric field, or what is the significance of this dipole field? Here the significance of this dipole field or electric field is, it is used to find the electric field is or electric field lines or passes through the insulator. The electric field inside the conductor is 0, but electric field inside the insulator is not 0. To find that electric field, here we use this concept. Dipole field means the electric field is produced by an electric dipole is called dipole field, but according to the properties of additivity of charges, the net charge of an electric dipole is always 0, but the net electric field is not 0. This is a very important concept, and remember this point. And here the net charge of an electric dipole is 0. This is called electric dipole, this is dipole length and dipole moment, and this is dipole field. These are the very important terms. These are the very important terms in the topic electric field. Electric dipole means pair of equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance. Dipole length means the distance between the two charges in an electric dipole is called dipole length. Dipole moment means it is the product of the magnitude of the either charge, and a dipole length is called dipole moment. It is a vector quantity. Dipole moment, it is a vector quantity, and it is mathematically denoted by the symbol P. It is a vector quantity. Vector P is equal to Q into 2A into unit vector P. It is the in general formula. When you write this equation in vector form, you get this equation. Q is the magnitude of the either charge, and 2A is the length or the distance between the two charges, and vector P is the unit vector. It is a unit vector. The SI unit of dipole moment is coulomb meter. Dipole field means the electric field is produced by an electric dipole is called dipole field. The net charge of an electric dipole is 0. The net charge of an electric dipole is 0, but the net charge due to the net electric field due to this electric dipole is not 0. Here the electric field is produced. The electric field is produced. There are two methods to find the electric field from using this concept. The first one is the electric field due to the axial line, and the second concept is that is electric field due to the equatorial line. Here, axial line of the curriculum. Axial line of an electric dipole. Axial line of an electric dipole. Axial line of an electric dipole. Here, this is electric dipole. Two charges, two equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance is called electric dipole. To find the electric field due to an insulator, or to find the electric field produced by this electric dipole, there are two methods. First one is electric field is produced at a point on the axial line, and the second method is electric field at a point on the equatorial line according to your Ncert syllabus. Here, what is axial line? Axial line means a line passes through the axis of the electric dipole. A line passes through the axis of the electric dipole is called axial line. This is called axial line. A line passes through the axis of the electric dipole is called axial line, or it is also defined as a line joining between the two charges. A line joining between the two charges, and it is extended to the either side of its charges, and it is extended to the either side of its charges. That is also called axial line, or a line passes through an axis of the electric dipole is called axial line. Electric dipole is called axial line. Suppose if you consider P is the point at which electric field is to be measured due to this positive charge and due to this negative charge, you get the electric field value. But the electric charge due to this electric charge or electric dipole is 0. ಇಲ್ಲಿ electric charge ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, but P is the point at which the electric field is to be calculated. Electric field is to be calculated, but the net electric charge due to an electric dipole is 0. This is the very important concept. Axial line of an electric dipole means a line passes through the axis of the electric dipole is called axial line, or a line joining between the two charges in an electric dipole and extended on either side of its charge is called axial line. And the next concept is that is equatorial line. The next concept is equatorial line of an dipole or equatorial line of an electric dipole. Equatorial line of an electric dipole. Again we consider electric dipole, the pair of equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance. O is the midpoint of the electric dipole. A line passes through the midpoint of the electric dipole. A line passes through the midpoint of the electric dipole and perpendicular to the axial line. Here this is called axial line. This is axial line. A line passes through the midpoint of the electric dipole or midpoint of the axial line. Midpoint of the electric dipole and perpendicular to the axial line. This is called equatorial line. The word itself says equatorial. The electric dipole is equally distributed along its sides. This is called positive x-axis and this is negative x-axis. This line is called equatorial line. Here P is the point at which electric field is to be calculated due to this negative charge and due to this positive charge. In this concept, P is the point at which electric field is to be calculated due to this positive charge and due to this negative charge. Electric field ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಈ ಎರಡು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. But electric charge ಅನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ because the net electric charge of an electric dipole is always zero, but the net electric field does not zero. Electric charge is zero, electric field does not zero. It is a very simple concept. Dipole field and the the electric field is produced due to an electric dipole is called dipole field. Is called a dipole field. Axial line of an electric dipole. A line passes through the axis of the electric dipole is called axial line, or a line joining between the two charges in an electric dipole and it is extended to the either parts of its charge is called axial line. Equatorial line means a line passes through the midpoint of the electric dipole and perpendicular to the axial line. Here this is the electric dipole. A line passes through the midpoint of the electric dipole and perpendicular to this axial line. This is called equatorial line. This is called equatorial line. ಈ ಕಡೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಲೆಂತ್ ಅನ್ನು ಏನಂತ ತಗೋಬಹುದು ನಾವು? This is A and the along this negative axis ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಲೆಂತ್ ಅನ್ನು A, but the total length of this electric dipole is that is always 2A. These are the terms connected with the electric dipole. Means a pair of equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance is called electric dipole. Dipole length means the distance between the two charges in an electric dipole is called dipole length. That is mathematically denoted by the symbol 2A. Dipole moment means the product of magnitude of the either charge and dipole length is called dipole moment. And dipole field means a field is created by an electric dipole is dipole field, but the net electric charge due to an electric dipole is zero, but the net electric field due to an electric dipole is not zero. Axial line means a line passes through the axis of the electric dipole is called axial line. A line passes through the midpoint of the electric dipole and perpendicular to the axial line is called equatorial line of an electric dipole. From using these two important definitions, in the next class I will discuss the derivation for or the expression for electric field at a point on the axis of axial line and the derivation or expression for electric field at a point on the axis of equatorial line. Okay, thank you.